And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. And today we are previewing can't even keep up with how many weeks in. We're in week 8 of FCS football action there. It's a number somewhere. North Dakota State versus South Dakota State is going to draw all of our attention today. Before we get into that, Sean, can you share with our listeners a quick word from BetOnline?
Oh, I'd love to. BetOnline, we got some crazy football going on midweek, but we also have the MLB playoffs, Joseph. I'm not sure if you've been tuning in a ton,
No.
but the Yanks are headed to Cleveland tonight. I'd
rather watch Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. That's what I watched last night.
Well,
which was a
who
decent
wouldn't?
game.
The Dodgers just pimped all over the Mets. They're a 1.5-point favorite against them tonight. So what I've been seeing so far, the favorites are taking this thing. They have been smoking it. I've been trying to live bet the spreads. Whoever goes down, doesn't matter. Head to BetOnline. Place your wagers there. Largest catalog of odds on everything football, and it'll be playoffs like we were just talking, NHL, NBA, political props. When the game's over, they have the online casino. They have the blackjack, the poker, the 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
So we've forgotten to bring this up, Sean, before we get into this. Quick shout. We don't have like a ton of URI listeners, but we're going to be at Rhode Island game day this upcoming week, repping Narragansett beer, which is going to be a really fun experience. We're going to be there Friday and Saturday for that weekend. We're going to be doing a lot of content. So if anybody does happen to be there and wants to stop by, wants to be a part of what we're producing, feel free to hawk us down. Sean will be the biggest person in the parking lot.
Feel free to hawk to us down. That'd be great. Regardless, Narragansett beer holds a special place.
We need to start the show.
Narragansett holds a special place in my heart. And
I'm going to reach out to Patrick and I'm going to ask him, please. And I'm not asking us. I'm not saying that we're canceling on them. I'm asking him to please retract what they have offered us because of what you just said. I thought you were better than that.
You know what? I thought you were better than that. Tossing me an oop right there in the fourth quarter. Regardless, I love Narragansett beer. Joe loves Narragansett beer. I think the only reason that we became friends was because of Narragansett beer and be able to drink together in that fashion. It's delicious. Excited to pedal it. Excited to be involved. Very nice people there with a delicious alcoholic beverage.
Sounded like you were doing a read.
You know what? I care about it. It'll come naturally. I tell you, I can push some booze.
Honestly, that was pretty good. Yeah, again, we'll be there at Rhodey homecoming against Maine. We're gonna be doing some fun stuff, so come find us. All right, we're here to talk about the marker game, which we've been to 2 years ago. It was one of the best football games that we had the opportunity to watch. We've had so many great experiences following this South Dakota State team. They are giving us the battle of 1 versus 2. South Dakota State entering the game with an elite offense and elite defense. North Dakota State entering the game with an elite offense and elite defense. Both teams enter this performance with experienced quarterbacks who've played a ton of snaps, who have earned plenty of accolades, that being Cam Miller for North Dakota State and Mark Gronowski for South Dakota State. Both have amazing running back duos. Amar Johnson, Kirby Voorhees for South Dakota State. North Dakota State has Chamar Brown and Barika
Capino.
Thank you.
We'll roll with that.
Again, some websites have the pronunciations on them. Please, it's such a simple concept. You guys put together a pronunciation guide in the game day booklet. We want to say these guys' names right. We want to. So please, there's some of these sites.
For what you might think that the channel's name is, it's the baseline level of professionalism is saying the names right. And we try to make the most concerted effort to do so.
But what I was getting to here is that this feels like at times where it was a premier matchup between these two squads, one was carrying a little bit more weight than the other, especially in particular categories. It feels like this year, especially, these teams are super, super similar.
Yeah, they are just loaded, carrying the nation in a lot of things. I'll just kick this off right now. You mentioned the quarterbacks. We've talked about Cam Miller on this show this year. We've talked about his evolution. We've talked about the difference that he's been able to make this year compared to other years. He's number 1 in the nation in passing efficiency in the FCS. That's what we're talking about. He was not number 1 2 years ago. I don't think he was probably top 50 2 years ago. Being that dude is what matters for this North Dakota State team this year. They don't have all the big horses on the offensive line. They're good, but they don't have those dudes up there that are first round, second round dudes. All right. They don't have the crazy fullback Hunter Lipke style that's just going to run through your face. They have a quarterback. They have a legit quarterback that can pick you apart if the offense is rolling. On the inverse, South Dakota State, fantastic defense. Number 5 scoring defense in the nation, giving up 14.5 points per game. We've been speaking a lot about that Mercer. I think I'm going to go with the Mama Bear defense, which was pitched under the YouTube comments on the last video. We were looking for Mercer defense names.
That's what that was.
But the South Dakota State defense has not gotten enough credit. I think it's a fair time to give them their props. They're fantastic.
Sucks. Sorry, Mama Bear defense,
dude. What else?
Orange blanket's better than Mama Bear defense. I hope that's just a fan suggestion.
I believe it is a fan suggestion.
Well, Jonathan Morey, good try. Let's.
I like it, Jonathan.
I'm cutting into the middle of this preview. I want the comments flooded with terrible names for the Mercer defense. We're gonna start this hashtag. Whatever we end up coming up with, we're gonna put together a list for. Let's be prepared for the Monday show this week. I want the worst, stupidest name that makes sense as possible. Mama Bear defense is up there. That one's up there.
Oh, come on. That's not terrible. But
that's awful.
There's a lot of Bear shtick. That's good. But back to the South Dakota State defense. Yes. Why are we giving them more love? Why are we doing that? Maybe because
be as good as Mercer and have as much of a footprint as Mercer, and maybe we'll give you guys enough love. No, sorry. Let's get back to this game.
South Dakota State's defense also 24th in third down conversions allowed, giving up 3.26% out of their drives. That's huge. You're limiting teams from staying on the field with their offense. You're keeping your defense fresh, and they don't get penalized a lot, Joe. 4.5 penalties a game, tied for 15th best in the nation. NDSU getting penalized much more than that. Couldn't even find them on the first page on fewest penalties allowed on NCAA.com. So, as good as NDSU is with Cam Miller in that offense when it's rolling, South Dakota State does have the dudes on defense to make it really competitive.
You had mentioned here in the notes the offensive line for South Dakota State only giving up 3 sacks through this period of time. Very, very elite performance that they're able to protect. And we know that they're always super well coached. Maybe there isn't, but this goes for both these squads where every so often there's like a big prospect on the radar. I don't think that's the case at this current moment, just based on covering the draft this year. Nobody's really popped up on the radar as much for both these teams, but they're still playing cohesively as a unit. And that's arguably better to have the full unit that's playing together and that is playing so consistently. And that 3 sacks, I think, is going to be super important in this game. Eli Mostart has 6 tackles for loss and 3 sacks on the year. They're a very aggressive downhill defense. We know that they are always finding ways to produce pressures. So to keep a guy like Mostart out of the backfield is going to be crucial in this game for South Dakota State.
Yeah, the offensive line room is buzzing at South Dakota State. It has to be, because giving up 3 sacks through 6 games, that just makes you feel good. You're walking around campus feeling like the big man, feeling like the Secret Service. But also, if they want to run the rock, they're doing that pretty well. 245 yards per game, 7.32 yards per carry.
Number. That's almost a first down every time. And that's
crazy.
That's probably not sack adjusted either. That's probably not, it's hard to find sites that provide that sack adjusted rushing total. But I bet that they're potentially, how many times has
3 sacks? Even if it was, I don't think it'd make that much of a difference.
Wait, let me look this up.
I would just say you don't see teams through 6 weeks averaging 7+ yards per carry. In the NFL, you're happy with 4.2. You're okay with 4.0 because that means you run it 3 times, you're probably getting a first down. 7 is dominant. 7 is crazy. How do you even do that as an offensive line? Props to the big fellas. They have had the great roster churn. They've had guys go up to the next level and people just fill in. These big fellas at South Dakota State, they have an infrastructure for their offensive line whether it's a scheme and everyone's really paying attention. I've been in offensive line rooms plenty. A lot of the times, some of the second stringers or third stringers phasing out in the meetings. Hey, Smoke, get up to the board. What's this blitz? All right, let's try to get it done. Is that
happening a lot?
Yeah, you know what? You had to be on your toes. You don't go to those late night concerts. That is what I would say. But the offensive line is really, really good for South Dakota State. So North Dakota State, you're gonna have to get tricky. You're gonna have to stunt it up. And it is not. I'm not saying you pull a 9-tech over to a shade on the center. I'm saying just work your stunts. All right, you have to do something to get these guys uncomfortable. Maybe bring 6, maybe bring 5. I think they can handle both personally. So it's going to be up to the starting 4 for North Dakota State to actually get it done.
All right, we're doing a little quick maths here. Who needs a site that tracks sack adjusted yards per carry? So wait, 767 yards to remove the 18 total yards lost on the season, divided by 192 because I removed the 3 sacks. Yeah, I did that wrong. Wait a minute. Wait.
So they've only lost 18 yards due to sacks?
Wait, no, I did that wrong. So they've got 201. This is great radio. They've got 1,500 rushing yards on the year, 1,524.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving them 18 yards back. That's 1,542. They've got 201 rushing attempts. So that means they'd be at 198. So divided by 198. Okay, so their rushing average goes up from 7.3 to 7.8. That was really important too.
Gotcha. So when you said quick maths, I don't know if that.
Shut up! I was reading the wrong side of the stat sheet. If anyone's wondering if I should be working at PFF, the answer is yes.
Well, can you spot a number on a grainy set of footage?
Yeah, absolutely, I can. But to what you're talking about here, they're super well-rounded, and to kind of bounce back to what we were talking about here with North Dakota State, one, it's super awesome to see that Bryce Lance, little brother of Trey Lance, is having a really productive start to the season. He felt like he was a little slow to get going, but he's up for 418 yards and 5 touchdowns. He has been one of the premier targets in this offense. I got to say, South Dakota State fans, we know who specifically is going to DM me when I say this. I am leaning right now. I am leaning in the direction of North Dakota State because Cam Miller is playing at a level that we have not seen him play at. He is playing in this elite category of efficient, consistent. He's dominant as a runner. I think that Gronowski is a great quarterback, but we have to be honest with ourselves right now that Cam Miller is outplaying him, and this game is at home. He is not by a significant margin, but he has had a better season to this point, and they both have faced an equal number of tests. I'm sure we're going to get a DM saying, well, this one game for South Dakota State was harder than this one game for North Dakota State.
I think it's going to be a DM saying, hope you guys enjoy Lindenwood next year. That's what the DM
Where's
is going to be.
Oh, that's in Missouri?
It's either, maybe they really pull through for the Western Illinois bit. I don't know, but you guys,
hey man,
you
it's
tread
easy
lightly.
to fly in and out of there. That's all I know. That's all I've seen. I lean North Dakota State. I think that the quarterback play for Cam Miller has to be commended and has to be recognized. I'm still in awe of watching him against Colorado. I was super impressed.
Yeah, I am too. I think Gronowski's going to have a lot of Michael Irvin-esque pep talks. What are you going to do before this game? It's going to be a rise up or play at average game for him. And if he rises up, I lean South Dakota State. I think I lean South Dakota State naturally. Their offensive prowess is incredible. Even if they rush for only 200 yards in this game and they don't meet their average by 45 yards, that says a lot to me. And I think that they have the edge in this one.
So you're going
South Dakota State. A house divided. Like many marker games are.
I'm debating if I'm sticking with my North Dakota. No, I have to, man. I have to stick with North Dakota State. We can't just be the dick riders of the South Dakota State fan base. I think that this is the year that the Bison get it back. It's at home. Your offense is playing the best that we've seen it. New coaching staff. I think here's the one thing for me that makes me feel uneasy about this pick. And I know that South Dakota State's coaching staff hasn't exactly been there for a very long established amount of time because it's been new direction. But I would lean the national championship winning coaching staff over the first-year coaching staff.
I think South Dakota State isn't worried about that quiet, cozy Fargo Dome. I think that they're going to roll in there and
you
feel
tell that to
nice
the
and
Bison
comfortable.
fans,
Oh yeah,
brother.
don't worry, I'm right. That's going to get.
They're going to be in your mentions.
Do you know what the dome gets like?
Where did you rank North Dakota State this week?
3.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater.
You're a hater.
I have Montana
North
State
Dakota
1.
State fans, this man is your enemy.
No,
Let
no.
him know.
Not
At
an
Anderson
enemy.
Radio on Twitter.
Oh, thanks for the plug.
Shame him. Go at him. I'll dox him. I know where he lives.
Yeah. You're a sick puppy. You're a sick puppy. We already Heath already has the address.
Yeah,
I'll give it on over to Chad and Brendan. Have you getting some mail?
We already. Why aren't you wearing Heath's hat?
I wore it last show.
Oh, yeah, that hat didn't fit me as well as it fit Sean. It
it's
felt
a nice hat.
It's a very nice hat.
Hey,
Thank
Heath,
you again for
Joe thought you sent him a cheap hat.
No, whoa!
You want to start throwing me to the
Whoa!
wolves?
That's
You want
not
to start
what-
throwing
no,
me to the
I never said that.
bison?
Yeah, but you're being a dick. Someone was polite enough to send us a hat, and if anyone else would like to send us their very obscure random team's gear to wear, we will wear it on the show.
Happily.
Depends on if we can trust you with our address or not. There's always the possibility that somebody sends us a strange chemical in the mail.
Yeah, I don't need the anthrax mail. That's not a good sign. But for the most part, thank you, Heath.
Yeah,
That was in jest. It's a very nice hat, and I wear it regularly.
Any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's going to be Gronowski versus Miller. The run games.
I
are gonna
really
be the
think
run
that,
games.
not to cut you off, but I really think that is like that's my main point here. Is I think it's going to come down to which quarterback plays the best, cleanest game. And I know that if this was last year, we'd be saying Gronowski will have the cleaner game over Miller, but Miller to this point has been the more consistent quarterback.
Yeah, Gronowski doesn't have to be perfect, but he can't go out and throw 2 picks. And I don't think he's going to go out and throw 2 picks. But with such a tight matchup, turnover battle, and specifically turnover battle from the quarterbacks is going to be paramount. You can't have an interception from either signal caller in this game.
FC estimates. Let's rip through it. Week 8. Total coincidence here. Total not the numbers getting moved around. What a shock. 3 weeks in a row, Sean and I have the same exact record, 7 for 10. Just
What's that supposed to mean, pal?
A little funky.
You see my highlights. You can go and check. They're all there.
42 of 60 is my record. Thankfully, Sean is adult and had a really bad first couple of weeks. 36 of 60. God, that number looks bigger and bigger every single week. I still have a 6-win lead. So I'm fine with tying every single week because I am coasting.
Nice competitive spirit there, pal.
Well, that is competitive spirit because I'm up.
You're
I'm
the-
up
you're the
big.
guy
As
that
long as I tie with you every single week, I win.
You're the jerk off that pulls his defense on Monday Night Football when he's up by 10 points already.
No.
That's
I'm
who
the
you
jerk
are.
off in NCAA who turns chew clock on when I'm up and it's the beginning
You're
of the fourth
just
quarter.
the worst. That's
That's how you win the
absolute-
football game. I run Michigan's offense in college football 25. I run the football. I run the ball hard. We run the ball hard at my programs. All right, first game, Villanova versus Maine.
Go with the upset. Maine getting one over Villanova.
This is why I'm leading. This is why I'm in front. Give me Villanova because I don't do stupid shit like this. URI versus UNH.
URI, it's at UNH.
Stop putting these games on there. Stop
Yeah,
putting
if
URI
there were
on
better
there.
FCS, they're ranked. UNH is battling for a top spot
Although
in the
they
CAA.
they are perfect when we're picking URI. So you're going.
Oh,
URI.
why would you say that? Why in God's name would you say that? I just
Knock
have the
on
game
wood.
in here.
Knock on wood.
Oh my God. You know what that UNH stadium is like. Waste management stadium, not because it's a dumpster, but because it has a big.
It's like playing football in a beer garden. That's what it's like. Because like the beer garden setup at this stadium, I know that we've admonished this setup before. This beer garden that they have at this stadium, I don't know if it's still there or not. It's so big and so like pumped up. It feels like it's a tap room that happens to have a field where like, oh, while you're getting your beer, you can watch this group of youths play football across from you.
Yeah, okay.
You didn't like that word?
I just have memories at UNH of Gatorade coolers being thrown, helmets being thrown. We know how it gets down.
Like, but okay.
So I am picking URI. Simply
Okay.
no jinx added on.
Wofford versus Chat. Who you got?
I'm not gonna waffle over this one. I'm going with
shut up!
Chattanooga.
Shut up! What's your bet?
Chattanooga.
I'm gonna take
If you weren't
Chattanooga.
yelling, you would have been able to hear that.
I don't care. Someone had to be put in their place. Give me Chattanooga. Stephen F. Austin versus Southeastern Louisiana.
I'm going with Sela.
I'm gonna take SFA, man. They got the big upset. Sela, dead body. Down goes the fighting Blake Rufino's. Boo! Boo!
I think they're doing okay.
I mean,
I'm riding with Sela. Yeah, they kicked the hell out of Houston Christian last week, 37-7. They're rolling.
I thought Houston Christian was on some sort of ascension. I guess
They're on a 2-game win streak.
That's
Texas A&M Commerce and Houston Christian. Come on, let's go, Sela.
I really wanted that CVS to get popping, man. That's such bullshit. I still kind of want to go to Houston Christian. I kind of think that we could totally tailgate the crap out of that CVS.
I think we could also. We could have some Gator Light. We could have a good time.
No.
Maybe some peanut M&Ms.
Is it a dry campus?
It would have to be.
It's Houston Christian.
I got put in my place, and we're looking up the sobrieties of different campuses in Texas. This is
possession of alcohol is not permitted anywhere on campus. All right, I had to take something out. All right, 3, 2, 1. UC Davis versus Ewu. Who you taking?
I'm going with UC Davis.
I'm going to take Uck Davis. Ewu 2-4. Not been playing very good this year. South Dakota State, except for the one good game that they had against Montana. South Dakota State versus North Dakota State.
I am going South Dakota State.
Give me the Bison. I think that they're going to pull it off. Weber State versus Sac State.
I'll go with the eternal disappointment, Sac State. I'm going to make it hurt this year.
Give me the Weber Weeaboos. FAMU, is that something else I also
you know what? That passes, I think. I just don't think they'll appreciate it or understand it. Get a grip.
FAMU versus, I'm rolling today. FAMU versus Jackson State.
FAMU, this one will be a tight one, though. I'm going FAMU.
Yeah, I'm taking FAMU as well. Stony Brook versus Towson.
Towson.
I thought I would have had you here. I thought you would have taken the bait again on Stony Brook because they're booty. I'm going to take Towson with their cool helmets. Western Carolina versus, they might have never worn these helmets, and I just keep seeing them on my feed. Western Carolina versus Furman.
Western Carolina.
Give me the Fighting Heats. Western Carolina as well.
I think that you're getting the helmets because little brother's listening to you all the time. You keep talking about Towson helmets and the Muskie algorithm is giving them to you.
Yeah, that might
That's
be
not
it.
the only thing in your algorithm either.
At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. We've got the mailbag coming back on Friday, 201-834-4308. Talk to you folks later. Enjoy your weekend.